Sadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 1, Text 31. Yeva uha tat ratha charanane krita parikhata ste sapta.
ये वा ऊहा तत्रत चरणनेमि कृतपरिखाता ते सप्तः
Sindhava asan yata eva krita sapta bhuvo dvipaha.
सिन्धवः आसान् यत् एव कृता सप्तभुवः द्वीपाः.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When Priyavrata drove his chariot behind the sun, the rims of his chariot wheels created impressions that later became 7 oceans, dividing the planetary system known as Bhumandal into 7 islands. Sometimes the planets in outer space are called islands. We have experience of various types of islands in the ocean, and similarly, the various planets divided into 14 lokas are islands in the ocean of space. You know how it's like Jambu Dweep, it's called. Or, Jambu Dweep. Anyway, they're called islands because as we have here, the land is surrounded by water. So it becomes an island, like Taiwan is an island. And so the planets are also called islands as they are floating in the space. As Priyavrata drove his chariot behind the sun, he created 7 different types of oceans and planetary systems, which altogether are known as Bhumandala or Bhulok. So we are in this Bhumandal. So these planetary systems, he created 7 types of oceans. In the Gayatri Mantra, we chant Om Bhur Bhuvasva Tat Savitur Varenyam. Above the Bhulok planetary system is Bhuvarlok, and above that is Swargalok, the heavenly planetary system. So all these planetary systems are controlled by Savita, the sun god. By chanting the Gayatri Mantra just after rising early in the morning, one worships the sun god. The sun god, the sun is sustaining the entire universe. Because the sun is there, then that's the reason there can be life. And so the sun is sustaining the entire universe. And by worshipping the Gayatri Mantra, one is worshipping the deity of the sun. So Bhumandal is this, right? Or is it Bhuvar? Swarglok is where Lord Indra and everyone stays. Our earthly planets are called which one? Does anyone remember?
Bhumandal,
Bhu,
Bhuvarlok.
right?
I think, yeah, we are Bhu. Yeah.
Bhu, right? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Jambu Plaksha Shal Mali Kusha Krauncha Shaka Pushkara Samgyastesham.
जम्बूफलश्च शाल्मली कुशक्रौञ्च शाकपुष्करसंज्ञा तेषाम्
Parimanam Purvasmat Uttaro Yatha Sankhyam.
परिमाणं पूर्वस्मात् उत्तरो यथासङ्ख्यम्
Dvigunamanena Bahi Samantata Upaklapta.
द्विगुणमानेन बहिः समन्तः उपक्लृप्ताः.
The names of the islands are Jambu, Plaksh, Shalmali, Kusha, Krauncha, Shak, and Pushkara. Each island is twice as large as the one preceding it, and each is surrounded by a liquid substance, beyond which is the next island. The ocean in each planetary system has a different type of liquid. How they are situated is explained in the next verse. So we are seeing the details of this planetary systems. Sharo Dekshu Rasoda Suroda Kritoda Shiroda Dahi Mandoda.
Sharo udha shorasa udha sura udha grit udha shira udo dridimandalaha.
Shuddhoda Sapta Jaladya Sapta Dvipa Parika Ivabhyantara.
शुद्ध उदौ सप्त जलधय सप्त द्वीपा परीखा इवा उभयन्तरो.
Dvipa Samana Ekekashena Yathanu Saptasva Api Bahir.
द्वीप समान एक एकशयेन यथा अनुपूर्वं सप्तसु अपि बहि.
Dvipeshu Prathak Parita Upakalpitasteteshu Jambu Adishu Barhishmati.
द्वीपेषु पृथक् परीथा उपकल्पिता तेषु जम्बु आदिषु बहिष्मति.
Patir Anuvrata Vrittanatmajan Agni Dridh Majhiva Yagna Bahu.
पति अनुव्रतान आत्मजान अग्निधीर इधम जिहायग बाहु.
Hiranyareto Grita Prashtha Medhatiti Vitihotra Samkyan Yatha.
हिरण्यरेत धृत पृष्ठ मेघा तिथि वीतिहोत्र संज्ञान यथा संख्येनः.
Sankhye Kasmin Ekam Evadipatim Vittade.
संख्येन एक एकस्मिन् एकम् एव अधिपतिं विधते.
The seven oceans respectively contain salt water, sugarcane juice, liquor, clarified butter, milk, emulsified yogurt, and sweet drinking water. All the islands are completely surrounded by these oceans, and each ocean is equal in breadth to the island it surrounds. Maharaj Priyavrat, the husband of Queen Barishmati, gave sovereignty over these islands to his respective sons, namely Agnidra, Idmajiva, Yagyabahu, Hiranyareta, Grita Prishta, Medhatithi, and Vitihotra. Thus, they all became kings by the order of their father. It is to be understood that all the dvipas or islands are surrounded by different types of oceans, and it is said herein that the breadth of each ocean is the same as that of the island it surrounds. So, as much land is there, that much ocean is there. The breadth. The length of the oceans, however, cannot equal the length of the islands. According to Veera Raghavacharya, the breadth of the first island is 100,000 yojanas. 1 yojana equals 8 miles, and therefore the breadth of the first island is calculated to be 800,000 miles. The water surrounding it must have the same breadth, but its length must be different. So because it's surrounding it, so of course the length would be longer, no? But the breadth of it, yeah, it is. Suppose the first island is 800,000 miles, so the water breadth is also 800, but the length is going to be different. And then each island goes, we read that each island is bigger than the previous one by twice. Yeah, thank you. Twice as large. So they get bigger and bigger.
And I checked, we are in Bhulok.
Bhulok. Thank you.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
Bhulok.
thank you.
Just for the reference, if the first one is 1 yojan, so then the second one would be double of that, right? 2.
That's right. Yes.
The other one will be 4, 6, right?
Yeah. So like the first
And
one is 800,000 miles. So the next one
yeah,
will be 1,600,000.
yeah,
Yeah,
1600,000
16
miles. And
lakhs. Yeah.
yeah, 16. And then again, the water, the ocean that is also equally, right? So if it is 1
Yes.
yojan, the Jambu Dweep, then the ocean, the salt water is also 1 yojan.
In breadth. Yeah, the breadth is
Yeah,
the same, but
breadth.
the length is different. Yes.
Length we don't know. Length we don't know, right? The breadth it's
Yes.
same. And then comes
Yes.
the other land, like the
Yeah.
one Palkshaha, and then comes the ocean, right?
Yeah. Yes.
The sugarcane ocean, right? And so,
Yeah.
like, I was just wondering how we see that the ocean has no end. That means there is something after that, right? Or is it just our imagination? No.
Well, the ocean does have end, no? Like for example, the like how we have Atlantic, Pacific Ocean, they are still contained within the earth, right?
Yeah.
So with that we can see, and then each planet is floating in the space. So yeah, the ocean does have an end. Although it's
Okay.
like huge and huge. We can't
Yeah. When we
swim
look.
across it.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So where is this situated? Means in which
And these we are hearing is the middle planetary systems, the Bhumandal. So then he's created these 7 islands in the Bhumandal.
so
In
that's Bhulok.
TOVP, they are gonna create this whole TOVP. They are gonna create this how the universe is according to Bhagavatam. So when we go there, we can actually see it. They're making all these how the islands are, the different planets, the placement of the planets. So it'll be interesting. Mhm.
So all this
Now
is
we
in
can just
Bhuman.
kind of imagine according to our own imaginations. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's in Bhumandal. All this.
Yeah,
Bhu.
yeah, we are
Oh.
hearing the Bhumanda. Duhitaram chorjasvatim namosha nase prayachad yasyam asid.
Duhitaram
च उचर्वतीं नामः उष्णसे प्रायच्छत यस्याम् आसीत्
Devayani nama kavyasuta.
देवयानी नाम
Devayani
काव्यसुता.
King Priyavrat then gave his daughter Urjasvati in marriage to Shukracharya, who begot in her a daughter named Devayani. So Priyavrat's daughter is married to Shukracharya, and Shukracharya's daughter is Devayani. And we are going to hear that story also.
So
About
Shukracharya is the priest of the demons,
demons. That's right.
right? The Bali Maharaj,
Yes.
Vaman Dev. Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Nevam vida purushakara urukramasya
न एवं विधि पुरुषकार अरुक्रमस्य
pumsam tad angri rajasa jitasad gunanam.
पुंसां तत् अङ्घ्रिरजसा जित षट् गुणानाम्
Chitram vidura vigata sakrid adatita
चित्रं विगतसकृत् आदिता
yana madeyam aduna sajahati bandham.
यत् नामधेयम् अधुना स जहाति बन्धम्.
My dear king, a devotee who has taken shelter of the dust from the lotus feet of the Lord can transcend the influence of the 6 material waves, namely hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. And he can conquer the mind and 5 senses. However, this is not very wonderful for a pure devotee of the Lord, because even a person beyond the jurisdiction of the 4 castes, in other words, an untouchable, is immediately relieved of bondage to material existence if he utters the holy name of the Lord even once. So the glories of the holy name of the Lord. Sukadev Goswami was speaking to Maharaj Parikshit about the activities of King Priyavrat. And since the king might have doubts about these wonderful, uncommon activities, Sukadev Goswami reassured him, My dear king, He said, don't be doubtful about the wonderful activities of Priyavrat. For a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything is possible because the Lord is also known as Urukrama. Urukrama is the name for Lord Vamandev, who performed the wonderful act of occupying the three worlds with 3 footsteps. Lord Vamandev requested 3 pieces of land from Maharaj Bali, and when Maharaj Bali agreed to grant them, the Lord immediately covered the entire world with 2 footsteps, and for his 3rd step, he placed his foot upon Bali Maharaj's head. So, Urukrama is a name for Lord Vamandev. And we know the pastime, how Lord Vamandev, then the 3rd step he kept on Bali Maharaj's head, Sri Jayadev Goswami says, Chala yasi vikramane balim adbhutavamana padana nirajani tajana pavana Keshava Devta Vamana Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. All glories to Lord Keshav, who assumed the form of a dwarf. O Lord of the universe, who take away everything inauspicious for the devotees. O wonderful Vamandev, you tricked the great demon Bali Maharaj by your steps. The water that touched the nails of your lotus feet when you pierced through the covering of the universe purifies all living entities in the form of the river Ganges. Just a few days ago was the appearance day of Vamandev.
Yeah, on Ekadashi.
Ekadashi. Yeah, Dwadashi, the next day. The fasting is
Yeah.
observed on
Isn't,
Ekadashi.
I think this
Yeah.
time the Ekadashi and Dwadashi was together. I don't know.
No,
So
no, no,
Oh,
no,
is
no.
it?
Actually, the fasting is on Gyaras, and then it is next day. The celebration is
Yeah,
next day.
celebration. Yeah. Because of some reason, the fasting is done previous day.
Yeah,
And
until
then,
12.
yeah. And then anyway, he's glorifying, Jayadev Goswami is glorifying Krishna. He's saying Keshav, Krishna, he assumed this form of Vamandev. And in this form, as Vamandev, Krishna is taking away everything inauspicious for the devotees. You tricked Bali Maharaj by your steps. O Lord of the universe. Well, Krishna, Hari, he's called Hari also, right? So he takes away everything inauspicious from our life. And then he's glorifying that the water, the water, universal water that was there, because it touched Lord Vamandev's lotus feet, it's so pure. It's purifying us, purifying the entire universe. And that is the river Ganga. Since the Supreme Lord is all powerful, he can do things that seem wonderful for a common man. Similarly, a devotee who has taken shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord can also do wonderful things unimaginable to a common man by the grace of the dust of those lotus feet. So, because Krishna is all powerful, the pure devotees, they also have certain powers given to them by Krishna's mercy. By the mercy of the Lord, they are also able to act wonderfully. They may choose not to act wonderfully, but they certainly have the capability to act wonderfully. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore teaches us to take shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. So this is Shikshastakam. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam buddha kripaya tava pad pankaja stita duli sadrasham vichintaya. O son of Nanda Maharaj, I am your eternal servant. Yet, somehow or other, I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet. Lord Chaitanya teaches us to come in touch with the dust of the Lord's lotus feet, for then there will undoubtedly be all success. So Lord Chaitanya is teaching us how to pray to Krishna, the mood. The mood, he's saying, he's praying to Krishna, Brajendra Nandan Krishna, Krishna and Vrindavan, the son of Nanda Maharaj. He's being so specific. Shyam Sundar Krishna, Brajendra Nanda Krishna. He's saying, I am your eternal servant. That's what Lord Chaitanya taught us. Jivera Swarupai Krishna Nitya Das. We are all eternal servants of God. Yet, somehow or the other, we have come here to the material world. The material world is called ocean of birth and death. We are being born, we are dying, we are being born, we are dying. And so he's praying that please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet. So atoms of dust. So this is the humility of the pure devotee. They want to be, because they are not, they are not saying, oh, make me a gopi or make me a flower or make me, a cow or a peacock. No, make me an atom of dust, particle of dust at your lotus feet. This is how Lord Chaitanya is teaching us to cultivate this mood of humility. So because of the material body, every living entity in material existence is always disturbed by Sadguna, 6 waves: hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, invalidity, and death. Well, till now we have been with hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, invalidity, and death is going to come. Well, in other bodies we have had death also. So, wouldn't it be nice to get free from these things? What do you all think? No more lamentation, no more illusion.
Yes.
What's invalidity?
Old age, because we get old and we are not able to do, like we are not able to fall, when we fall sick, then
So old age.
not able to do much, right? Old age, then you're not able to do as much as you're able to do it as younger. Furthermore, another sadguna are the mind and 5 sense organs. Not to speak of a sanctified devotee, even a chandala and outcast who is untouchable is immediately freed from material bondage if he utters the holy name of the Lord even once. So our mind disturbs us so much. So our physical body disturbs us. Then the mind and senses disturb us. So what Sukadev Goswami is saying, that a pure devotee is completely free of all these things. And he's saying, what to speak of a pure devotee? One who's born in a low family, if even once he speaks the holy name of the Lord, he's free from all these things, immediately liberated. So it's so powerful as chanting the holy name of the Lord. Sometimes caste brahmanas argue that unless one changes his body, he cannot be accepted as a brahmana. For since the present body is obtained as a result of past actions, one who has in the past acted as a brahmana takes birth in a brahmana family. Therefore, they contend, without such a brahmanical body, one cannot be accepted as a brahmana. So Prabhupada is saying that, some of the caste brahmanas, means those who are saying that a brahmana is a brahmana due to his birth. Well, they may argue that one has gotten the birth in the family of a brahmana because he's acted well in his past life, and that's the reason he has such a high birth. So because he's acted well before, so now he's a brahmana also. Herein it is said, however, that even Vidura Vigata, a Chandala, a 5th class untouchable, is freed if he utters the holy name even once. Because karma can change, right? Activities can change. At any time, one can cultivate Brahmanical qualities. At any time, one can start chanting the holy name of the Lord. That can be changed, activities. So powerful is the holy name. Being freed means that he immediately changes his body. Sanatana Goswami confirms this. Yatha kanchana tam yati kam sayam rasa vidhanata tatha diksha vidhanena vichatvam jayate nirna. When a person, even though a Chandala, is initiated by a pure devotee into chanting the holy name of the Lord, his body changes as he follows the instructions of the spiritual master. Although one cannot see how his body has changed, we must accept, on the grounds of the authoritative statements of the Shastras, that he changes his body. This is to be understood without arguments. So Shastra is saying that when one is purified, his body changes. So Prabhupada is saying we accept what the Shastra is saying without argument, because it's authority. So understanding that the body is changed. Well, consciousness for sure changes. The mind for sure gets spiritualized. No? Because then there are no more material desires. So he's always thinking of Krishna. So his consciousness is pure. So the mind becomes spiritual then. So this verse clearly says, Jahati Bandham, he gives up his material bondage. So the body also changes. His body is no more material. Although we think it's material, but it's no more material. And that's the reason the material modes don't act on him. We are conditioned, so the modes act on us. But a pure devotee, although he's inside a body, his body is changed. And that's the reason the modes are not acting. This is what Prabhupada is explaining us here. The body is a symbolic representation of material bondage according to one's karma. Although sometimes we cannot see the gross body changing, chanting the holy name of the Supreme Lord immediately changes the subtle body. And because the subtle body changes, the living entity is immediately free from material bondage. So subtle body changes. We can see, there's the consciousness changes, the mind changes, the thoughts changes, the desires changes. So for a pure devotee, no more material desires, so no more material bondage. After all, changes of the gross body are conducted by the subtle body. We were hearing earlier in the story of Puranjana, right? That how by the mind, where all the desires are seated, by the subtle body, we are creating our future gross bodies. So here Prabhupada is explaining that because the pure devotee, his subtle body is changed. So the same thing is being said, that how with our subtle body, our gross body is being formed, the next gross body. So because pure devotee, his subtle body is completely spiritual, the next body he'll get is going to be a spiritual body. And also they say that his physical body is not material anymore. It's spiritual. Because it depends on the subtle body, the desires, the consciousness. After the destruction of the gross body, the subtle body takes the living entity from his present gross body to another. In the subtle body, the mind is predominant, and therefore, if one's mind is always absorbed in remembering the activities or the lotus feet of the Lord, he is to be understood to have already changed his present body and become purified. Therefore, it is irrefutable that a Chandala or any fallen or low-born person can become a Brahmana simply by the method of bona fide initiation. So Prabhupada is saying that even if a person is born in any family, a low-born family, any family, if he's initiated into chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, he can get liberated. Because if he is following the process, then for sure his consciousness is going to be purified. Because his consciousness is purified, he can get liberated. So it's not according to birth, but according to activities. Birth is irrelevant. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So evam aparimita bala parakrama ekada tu devarshe
स एवम् अपरिमितबलपराक्रम एकदा तु देवर्षि
चरणानुशय नानुपतितगुणविसर्ग संसर्गेणानिवृत्तम्
चरण अनुशयन अनुपति गुण विसर्गम संसर्गेण अनिवृतम्
इवात्मानं मन्यमान आत्मनिर्वेद इदम् आह
इव आत्मानं मन्यमान आत्मनिर्भेदः इदम् आह
While enjoying his material opulences with full strength and influence, Maharaj Priyavrat once began to consider that although he had fully surrendered to the great sage Narad and was actually on the path of Krishna consciousness, he had somehow become again entangled in material activities. Thus his mind now became restless, and he began to speak in a spirit of renunciation. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 17, it is said, Tyakva swadharmam charanam bhujam hare bhajan apakvo tapate tato yadi yatra kvava bhadram abhut amushyakin kovartha apto bhajatam swadharmataha. One who has forsaken his material occupations to engage in the devotional service of the Lord may sometimes fall down while in an immature stage. Yet there is no danger of his being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non devotee, though fully engaged in occupational duties, does not gain anything. So, this is spoken also by Narad Muni. So, he's saying that one who's given up his material duties to take up devotional service of the Lord, but somehow or the other, he's not able to complete his devotional service. He's not able to continue with it. Uh, it's still good than someone who never took up devotional service, who's just saying that he's doing his material duties but never taken up devotional service, does not gain anything. Because we can see the way we can actually truly serve, we can truly do our duties well is when we can keep Krishna in the center. We can truly serve our family members when we can see them as parts and parcels of Krishna. If one somehow or the other comes to the shelter of a great Vaishnava, takes to Krishna consciousness because of sentiment or realization, but in course of time falls down because of immature understanding, is not actually fallen, for his having engaged in Krishna consciousness is a permanent asset. So that whatever degree of consciousness that has been cleaned, that one has advanced towards Lord Krishna, that remains, that never goes away. That's why I said not fallen. And that's why it is said that even if one is not able to completely become Krishna conscious, at least start, do whatever you can. Hear, chant, how much ever one can do it instead of not doing it at all. If one falls down, therefore his progress might be checked for a certain time, but it will again become manifest at an opportune moment. So it's never forgotten. Someone may take up Krishna consciousness, then someone may go away for some time, but one will come back. Maybe this life, maybe next life, but one will take up again devotional service. It's never lost. Although Priyavrat Maharaj was serving according to the instructions of Narad Muni, meant for going back home, back to Godhead, he returned to material affairs at the request of his father. In due course of time, however, his consciousness for serving Krishna reawakened by the grace of his spiritual master Narad. So, of course, we need to understand that he was being the emperor of the universe. That was also his service to Krishna. Like Brahmaji, he is creating the universe. He's doing so much, so much work, that's all his service to Krishna. So now here Priyavrat, it's not that when he is being the emperor of the universe, he's not serving Krishna. He is. But now what he wants to do, he wants to hear and chant. He wants to directly serve Krishna. Direct. He wants personal association of Krishna by hearing and chanting. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 6:41, Shuchinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Brashto Bijayate. One who falls down from the process of Bhakti Yoga is again offered the opulence of the demigods, and after enjoying such material opulence, is given a chance to take birth in a noble family of a pure Brahmana or in a rich family to be given the chance to revive his Krishna consciousness. So Krishna says this to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna asks Krishna, what happens to the unsuccessful yogi? One who takes up Krishna consciousness is not able to fulfill. So one who has taken up Krishna consciousness for a short time, then such a soul, he goes to the heavenly planets, planets of the demigods, has a lot of material opulence, enjoys there. Then, after finishing that time, they again comes to the earth. In the earth, he is born in a family of a nice Brahman or a nice business family, where he's given an opportunity to again take up Krishna consciousness. And Krishna says that one who has fallen after long practice of Krishna consciousness, then he's born in the family of great transcendentalists, like family of pure devotees, they're great transcendentalists. So we can see there is no loss. We just simply have to take up this process. This actually happened in the life of Priyavrat. He is a most glorious example of this truth. In due course of time, he no longer wanted to enjoy his material opulences and his wife, kingdom, and sons. Instead, he wanted to renounce them all. Therefore, after having described the material opulences of Maharaj Priyavrat, Sukadev Goswami in this verse describes his tendency for renunciation. So he's done all his duties, his son's also big. But now he wants to take up again, completely dedicate himself. He wants to give up management. And he wants to now take up bhajan again. The words Devarshi Charana No Shayana indicate that Maharaj Priyavrat, having fully surrendered to the great sage Devarshi Narad, was strictly following all the devotional processes and regulative principles under his direction. In regard to strictly following the regulative principles, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Dandavat Pranam Stan Anupatita, by immediately offering obeisance, Dandavat, unto the spiritual master, and by strictly following his directions, the student becomes advanced. So if one at all wants to advance in spiritual life, need to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. Maharaj Priyavrat was doing all these things regularly. So Maharaj Priyavrat was following Narad Muni's orders. As long as one is in the material world, he has to be under the influence of the modes of material nature. Guna Visarg. It is not that Maharaj Priyavrat was freed from material influence because he possessed all material opulences. In this material world, both the very poor man and the very rich man are under material influences. For both wealth and poverty are creations of the modes of material nature. So the modes act on all of us. That's what Prabhupada is trying to explain. But Priyavrat Maharaj, of course, is a pure devotee. So at no point of time the modes would be acting on him. But he's taking a humble position. And also he's being an example, that, okay, now he's managed the universe, now it's time for him to retire. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 3:27, Prakrite Kriyamanani Gune Karmani Sarvashan. According to the modes of material nature, we acquire. The material nature gives us facility for material enjoyment. So whatever modes we have, we enjoy according to the modes. And then based on that, we get a body. So our desire to have different types of enjoyment, that gives us different kinds of bodies. And it's all happening under this modes of nature. Passion, ignorance, and goodness. So someone in mode of goodness wants to enjoy, but he may like to enjoy, say, suppose music. So like he wants to enjoy some kirtan, he wants to enjoy some bhajan. And then mode of passion, and then the mode of ignorance, with music. So it depends then again. Different types of music, if we are speaking on music. And then eating goes in modes. And then based on that, next life we get a body suitable for that kind of enjoyment.
Sorry, I just have one question. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Hare
They
Krishna.
have made the statement that the wealth and the poverty are the result of the three modes. So how is it?
How is it what?
Like how can you please clarify a little on this? Is it that
That how?
when we get the wealth and we become the poor, is it that way, or is it something else?
See, both are under the modes of nature. Whether one is a rich man or one is a poor man, one is still affected by the modes of nature.
Oh, okay,
The
okay,
goodness,
that way.
passion, and ignorance.
Okay,
So it's not
okay,
that a
that
rich
way.
man is not. Yeah.
It is not that the wealth is a result of some particular guna. No, they don't mean
But
that, right?
but no, but see, wealth will come based on what karma we have done in the past life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's all these material laws are there.
Yeah, okay.
So one acted in a certain way because was influenced by a particular mode of nature. So he acted piously because maybe he was influenced
Oh,
by mode of goodness. So he acted piously. So then in the next life he got a lot of wealth, you know.
yeah,
So
got
the
your point.
modes
Yeah.
are actually very binding on us. We don't understand how the modes are binding us.
Hmm.
And they affect at every aspect of our life.
Yeah, I remember you telling us that even the animals are in different modes. Like the parrot is in the mode of goodness, and crow is in the mode of ignorance. So if even they are not left without binding, we are humans. We will
Yeah,
be everything. So,
yeah. We are bound
yeah.
by the modes.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Aho asadu anutishtam yat abhiniveshitoham indriyar avidya.
अहो
अहो असाधु अनुष्ठितम्
अभिनिवेशितः अहम इंद्रिये अविद्या
Prachita vishama vishyantakupe tad alam amushya vanitaya.
रचिता विषम विषयान्ध कुपेत अलम अलम अमुष्य वनिताय
Vinodam mrigam mab dig dig iti garhayam chakara.
विनोदमृतां मां दिग्
आम
दिग्
दिग्ध इति
दिग्गर्भयां
गर्भयाम
चकार
चकार.
The king thus began criticizing himself. Alas, how condemned I have become because of my sense gratification. I have now fallen into material enjoyment, which is exactly like a covered well. I've had enough. I'm not going to enjoy any more. Just see how I have become like a dancing monkey in the hands of my wife. Because of this, I am condemned. So he's being self reflective. He's a pure devotee. He's reflecting himself. Some of us, what we may do is we may think of others. Look how they are enjoying. They are not following the rules and regulations. Look how bad they are doing. Instead of looking, oh, What am I doing? Where am I? What is my consciousness? Where am I going with this consciousness of mine? See the difference. So how condemned is the advancement of material knowledge can be understood from the behavior of Maharaj Priyavrat. He performed such wonderful acts as creating another sun which shined during the night and creating a chariot so great that its wheel formed vast oceans. These activities are so great that modern scientists cannot even imagine how such things can be done. Isn't it? I mean, creating oceans. Can we create ocean? No. Can we create another sun? No. Maharaj Priyavat acted, sorry. Okay, Maharaj Priyavat acted very wonderfully in the material field of activities. But because he was dealing in sense gratification, ruling his kingdom, and dancing to the indications of his beautiful wife, he personally condemned himself. When we think about this example of Maharaj Priyavrat, we can just consider how degraded is the modern civilization of materialistic advancement. Modern so-called scientists and other materialists are very satisfied because they can construct great bridges, roads, and machines. But such activities are nothing comparable to those of Maharaj Priyavrat. If Maharaj Priyavrat could condemn himself in spite of his wonderful activities, how condemned we are in our so-called advancement of material civilization. We can conclude that such advancement has nothing to do with the problems of the living entity entangled within this material world. So material advancement does not take us out from the modes of nature. We are entangled in this world by the modes, and no matter how much material knowledge we get, material advancement we get, we can't get out. We are living in the material world, we are inside the material body, so we need the material, whatever things that are needed. But we need to understand the difference, as we have been hearing in Ishopanishad, We need to have knowledge of both so that we can understand, oh yes, this is material, yes, this is spiritual. Unfortunately, modern man does not understand his entanglement and how condemned he is, nor does he know what kind of body he's going to have in the next life. From a spiritual point of view, a great kingdom, beautiful wife, and wonderful material activities are all impediments to spiritual advancement. Maharaj Priya, because these are great attachments. The more we have, the more we get attached. Maharaj Priyavrat, of course, he is a pure devotee. He's just taking our position, that we are so attached. Maharaj Priyavrat had served the great sage Narad sincerely. Therefore, even though he had accepted material opulences, he could not be deviated from his own task. He again became Krishna conscious, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Neha Vikraman Ashoste Pratyavayo na vidyate Swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. In devotional service, there is no loss or diminution, and even a small service rendered in devotional life is sufficient to save one from the greatest danger. Bhagavad Gita 2.40. So Krishna is telling to Arjuna that even small devotional service we do can save us from greatest type of danger. Devotional service is never lost, it's never reduced. It's always there, it's eternal. Such renunciation as Maharaj Priyavrat's is possible only by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Maharaj Priyavrat, he was completely renounced before. Then, on the order of his grandfather, Lord Brahma, he took up material life, family life. He did his kingly duties. Now he wants to retire. He wants to renounce everything again. Generally, when people are powerful or when they have a beautiful wife, a beautiful home, and material popularity, they become more and more entangled because these are great attachments, Power, beautiful spouse, a beautiful home, they attach us more and more. Maharaj Priyavrat, however, having been completely trained by the great sage Narad, revived his Krishna consciousness in spite of all impediments. So he has everything, but now he wants to renounce, he wants to engage completely in Krishna consciousness. Did anyone want to add anything or comment anything?
Like taking the shelter under the guidance of Guru is so important and so powerful, because Priyavrat was a disciple of Sri Narad Muni. He has taken instructions from him, so it is so powerful.
Yes, thank you.
Your devotee.
Yeah. Yes. Yasya prasada, Bhagavad prasada, Yasya prasada nagati kutopi. We sing in the Guru Ashtakam that by pleasing the spiritual master, one pleases Krishna. By displeasing the spiritual master, one displeases Krishna. And Narad Muni's glories, we have seen that how even Mrigari the hunter had a change of heart.
Yeah.
And Mrigari followed Narad Muni's instructions. Priyavrat followed Narad Muni's instructions. So following the instructions.
And
And then
Maharaj
the
Priyavrat
Vachan.
was already detached from worldly
Yes.
things. And yet he was telling that, he's condemning himself, like I've done. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
because he's detached, he's able to condemn. Otherwise, if he would be completely attached, he wouldn't be able to condemn or able to give up, actually. Right? Think about it, isn't it? If he was really truly attached, he wouldn't, he's emperor of the universe.
Yeah. And he was already detached. This was like he
Yeah,
was doing his duty, right? As a
yeah,
household.
he's,
Yeah.
yeah, he's just doing his duty. That's right.
Very
And because he
exciting.
could see everything that it's just my duty, I'm doing my duty, he's able to give it all up. You follow what I'm saying? Because if it was not for that, if he was really attached, he wouldn't be able to give this all up,
Right. True.
isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I also, what you say is completely true, that he's already detached and yet he's feeling himself, condemning himself. So these are the works of the great devotee, how they act. They're teaching us.
I guess he just wanted to give up. Like, he wants to give up. Now he has sons. He wants to give it everything
Yeah,
for the
that's right.
sons.
He wants to
Take over.
retire now. That's
Retire.
right.
That's it.
Yeah, he wants to take up completely now.
Mm.
He wants to give up the management, retire from the management, and completely take up devotional service.
Yeah, be a sannyasi.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.